It was a really foolish thing I did. But it taught me a really important lesson about life. Let me explain. I was visiting some relatives in the desert. Then, on my way back to my uncle's house, billows of steam began to boil from under the hood of my car. I stopped the car when the red light came on. So, there I was in the middle of the desert, miles from civilization with a radiator that needed water, and there wasn't a drop of water in sight. Then, I remembered, my uncle had mentioned a ghost town just off the main road. I thought to myself, where there's a town there's got to be a lake or a river nearby. Instead of staying by the car and waiting for help to arrive, stupidity took over, and I abandoned the car and walked toward where I thought the ghost town probably was. It can't be more than a mile or two, I thought. Well, a mile or two turned into 3, then 4, then 5. No ghost town, no river, no lake. No standing water of any kind. My mouth was parched. I had lost so much body water that I had stopped sweating. If I didn't get a drink of water soon, I was about to become the next of many victims for which this desert had become famous. Then, I saw it in the distance. The ghost town. When I finally staggered to what used to be the town square, I saw a watering trough and hand pump. I began cranking the squeaky handle up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Oh no. This is it, I thought. They are going to find my dry bleached bones picked clean by the vultures that were circling patiently overhead. That's when I saw some writing scratched into the side of the watering trough. It said, use the water in the jar to prime the pump. Then, refill the jar and bury it in the sand. Water. A jar of water. It's here somewhere. Water. A whole jar of water. I opened the jar and was about to drink it down in one gulp, when I remembered the water is for priming the pump. But what if I pour the water down the pump and the pump still doesn't work? Do I stick with the sure thing and drink it down in one beautiful, thirst-quenching gulp? Or do I risk a little to possibly gain a lot? I called myself some rather unflattering names as I emptied the jar of water down the throat of the pump and pumped the handle. Within a dozen pumps the water began to flow generously into the watering trough. So I put my face right there at the mouth of the pump and drank until my stomach ached. Then I sat back and apologized to myself for the name calling. That's when I saw the jar again. Obediently, I picked it up off the sand and filled it with water, screwed the cover on, and buried it in the sand next to the pump, so that the next poor fool who tries to defy the desert will have a chance at survival. Well, to make a long story short, I lay in the shade for several hours and recovered from my heat stroke until my uncle showed up. He had come looking for me and anticipated my stupidity. But on the way home, he asked, "Did you learn anything from your experience?" I said, "Yeah. Don't abandon your car." "No," he said, "did you learn anything about your walk with God?" "What kind of question is that?" I asked. And then it hit me. My uncle had been nagging me for years to start giving of my time, talents, and money to the church. That's what he was talking about. The Lord has given me a jar of time, talents, and money, and He wants me to prime the pump with it, so that His blessings can begin to flow generously over me and splash onto others. And He wants me to fill a jar, to leave some blessings behind, to save others from certain death. That's what He wants from you too. Prime the pump. Based on a play by Bob Snook. Conditions for use: do not sell any part of this script, even if you rewrite it. Pay no royalties, even if you make money from performances. You may reproduce and distribute this script freely, but all copies must contain this copyright statement.